Now, we've got the first part of the title on this. It's called The World of Smog, but the actual whole title is The World of Smog on Her Majesty's Service. Because you're doing well, it's not really a job, it's kind of, I might as well just read the opening. If you like Lewis Carroll, this is an interesting puzzle, kind of abstract game, based on some writings. Well, I don't know if it's actually based on it, but I think some of what's in the world is inspired by Lewis Carroll. So I really like that aspect of it. There's a lot of his writings in the instructions, which is pretty cool. It's 1889. I was wrong. It is not 1882. I just think it is because I'm old-fashioned. And it says, the mechanical and magical empire of Queen Victoria rules the world. And I'm leaning and I'm making that darker, so I'm going to have to sit like this when I play. So, London has become the center of the world and an extraordinary stage where the appearance of monsters, the return of secret cults, and the outbreak of infernal machines regularly contend for the front page of the Times. The last one of these incredible events is the arrival of Oberon, ruler of the courts of Fairy, to be present during the Jubilee of the Queen. The ceremony is getting closer, and the Queen has secretly invited the most avant-garde clubs of the capital to join the expedition in the legendary, quote-unquote, Shadow Market. That's what this is, the Shadow Market. She promised to cover with honors those who will manage to bring back from this dangerous voyage some precious objects. Some keys made of adamant and Atlantean metal, a mithril padlock, and a magic chain. That's what these 4 items are on the board. Magic artifacts which cannot be made in the real world. However, the Shadow Market is a maze out of space and time, where ether and magic materials are very expensive. It gives shelter to dangerous creatures, which are ready to hinder the path of the unlucky gentleman, and last but not least, some adventurer may end up trapped forever if they don't manage to pay a heavy tribute in ether to the guardian of this place, the mysterious Shadow Master, which is this creepy-looking dude right there.
Evil.
These are the other ones waiting on the agents of the Shadow Market, are waiting to mess up our day. When the great engineer of the Queen manages to open a portal to the Shadow Market, only a small number of the bravest ladies and gentlemen are ready to accept the challenge of the Queen, and you are one of them. So that is us in the middle. That middle tile is known as the Esplanade. And then we have market tiles. These are for ether, transactions using or buying and selling ether. These are for artifacts, these bigger dials. And if you notice, they turn. So we will be turning these throughout the game. So the object of the game, and we'll talk about real quick who our people are. I guess we'll talk about our people before we start playing, but we'll do the rules first. But the goal of the game is you basically race around the board, and you have to collect 4 ethers. And if it's this card right here that we have, this is our ether card, and this is our secret exit card. What an ether card looks like, take one that we didn't use, is this. This tells us what we need in combination for ether to get out. It's a little bit hard to see the darker one, but there's 2 brown, so 2 titanium, 1 red, which is blood, and then 1 blue, which is mana. So if I had this card, I need to collect that type of ether combination in addition to the 4 artifacts, and then I need to escape. If the first person to do that is the winner of the game. The way the escape works is you have this card, you orient it so that the arrows are facing away from you, regardless of which side of the board you're sitting on. So for me, I'm actually playing on this side of the board because we're using a longer table for filming, so my association would be this way. So if I were using this card to escape, I would need to get to this dial right here to escape. And so we keep that a secret from each other so that no one knows specifically where you're trying to get to, so they have no idea when you're trying to escape. Same thing with the mana. We can have all sorts of mana combinations because we're going to be using that mana as transaction kind of currency as well. So you never know when somebody's ready to go for it. The only time you really need to start worrying, I think, is when somebody has all 4 artifacts, because then they can be ready at any time to bust out of there. So the first person to get out, of course, is the one who presents the Queen with the artifacts, and that's the one who wins. You're going to gather artifact cards, you're going to buy and sell ether, and you're going to mess around with the Shadow Master. So we've already got our gentlemen, so let's talk real quick about our gentlemen, and then I'll talk about the ethers and how you can tell which one you have an affinity with. So since you picked first, Beth, you can talk about Master Fox. Just a brief recap of him.
He's an exiled fae trying to get back in Oberon's good graces so he can go back home because, human land kind of sucks.
Especially for a shape-changing fox.
Yeah. I mean, everything that I like to do for fun, they like look down at me if we're doing. I'm like, jeez. I think it's not, everything's not yours. If I want to take it and use it, what's wrong with that? I mean, come on. You're stupid enough to fall for my tricks. That's your problem. 6 yard on me.
And his club is the Friends of Oberon Club, and he's a not a secret detective. He's a super sleuth.
Private eye.
Ian?
And my character is Sir Daniel Home, and he is a member of the club called The Maze, which is a club of people that basically talk to the dead. We find them more interesting than the living. And so Sir Daniel Home is literally probably the most famous medium in all of Mediumton. And not only because he can talk to the dead, but he can hold long conversations with them and make them tell him things. The truth, specifically.
He's the least mediocre medium of all Mediumton.
It's true.
That comes fast.
Nor am I a small medium at large. So.
He literally is, actually.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's awesome. And then yours is Parvin Khan, Ashley?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, before you say yours, I have to read. Mizudori Namaru in Chad says, kill all the things. But not the rats. Leave those alone.
That's awesome. She's
the rat king is back. Sorry.
She's a suffragette. She invented flying, and no one really cared because they just thought she was hot.
That's true. Oh, and I forgot. Your dude is the member of the Maze Club, so you're representing them in this lovely challenge of shopping, essentially, in hell. And she's the Mechanical Siren Club. And then I'm playing John Brown, who is basically a Scottish hero who lost both of his legs, should not have survived. He was a prisoner in Canton, was rescued, received new legs and all sorts of honors, was told he could retire, was having none of that, because, no, that's not for me. And he's, how should I put it? Little bit of a racist. So, not a fan of the monsters and the Fae and that sort, wandering around London, and he really wants to win so he can have a private audience with the Queen so he can tell her to smarten up and kick them out, essentially. Nice guy. That guy. So those are our people. We've already received our starting thing. We've set up the starting agents. In this game, there are 6 agents. You play with 4 of them that you randomly draw, so there is some pretty cool replayability. There's also a number of these cards that we have, so... and you only essentially use 4 of them per game. So it's really cool how this game is set up. And these get set up essentially at the beginning of the game. These hourglass tokens are very light, so hopefully they show up. Okay, they show up better here, but we will not be placing these until, even though it's part of the setup of the game, we're not going to do that until after I explain the rules so you know what they do to players. Because we get to pick some of these starting locations for these hourglass. We always get to pick where they go. They don't go random. But you can kind of set yourself up based on what you need, and you definitely don't want to put hourglasses on things that you want to buy later. So we'll have that kind of set up. Now the first thing I want to talk about are the different types of the ethers. There are 4 different types. There's red, which is this color, obviously. Red, it's kind of orangey, but it's red. That's blood. It has a sun symbol. Then there is yellow, which is ectoplasm, and that's got kind of these little side thingies on it. Blue is mana, and that's in the triangle type of deal. And this thing that looks kind of like a weapon is brown, and that is known as titanium. Now, everyone will start with their tracker. These track how much of a specific type of ether you have on your board. You will track that by moving this way until you have a maximum of 3. And then you'll probably never reach that maximum or stay at it for very long. But you will start out at 0 with everything except for the one that you have an expertise in. And that is based on your side of the board. So this right here, even though I'm kind of sitting over here, this side is my side. So I have an expertise in blood. So my blood starts at 1. Beth has an expertise in ectoplasm, so hers will start at 1. You have blue, yours is mana, and Ashley has brown, so which fits perfectly for your character because you're an inventor.
Yeah.
It actually fits perfectly for all of us.
It kind of does, actually. Ectoplasm would probably work better for you.
Yeah.
But if you notice, the color is always on the side, so if you forget what your affinity is, which can happen, this is your first time playing, my first time playing, just look at the board. And it also helps you remember what you're looking at when you're looking at the board. The other thing to think about is the facing of the tiles. If you notice, these are all circles, and they will be spinning. The way to tell which side applies to you is it's the side closest to you, the side on the bottom of where you're facing. So if Ashley was going to buy or sell ether on this space, the one you get to deal with is the one facing you. So if I want to sell mana or buy mana, I can do that for 1 coin. It's worth 1 coin to buy it. It's also worth 1 coin if I sell it. I can't buy this or sell this because it is not facing me. So that's maybe not a square I want to go on. You can turn your dials. That's one of the actions you can do, but just be aware that whatever's facing you when you take the action, that specific action, is the one you're dealing with. So in the case of this tile, it's almost opposite of what we were finna, like, you know, you can do blood. I can deal with mana. Hers is the same. She can deal with titanium. She can deal with ectoplasm. Does that make sense? It's important because these dials are going to move a lot. They always move 90 degrees clockwise, and there'll be times where we're doing that as a free action. There'll be times where we're doing that as an actual legitimate action. You can even do it when you're sitting on the tile. So if I really want to deal with titanium, and this is my turn, I'm here, I have to waste an action to move it so I can actually do that. And hopefully that makes sense. So at the start of your turn, now at the start of every turn except for the first turn, because we start with 2 coins on the first turn, we're going to gain 1 coin per turn. There's, I think there's no exception. Everybody will receive 1 coin. Just some people will be spending it on other things than others. Now on your turn, you can do 3 actions. There's a couple actions that you can only do once per turn, but most actions can be done multiple times until you reach your 3 actions. Okay, you can move your gentleman. When moving, you cannot move diagonally, so you can move vertically and horizontally, and that's it. And these are the gentlemen's; these are agents. So just make sure you know the difference, because these will eventually be on the board too. Excuse me. So you can move your gentleman. You can rotate the tile that you're on, which is 90 degrees clockwise. So if you want to rotate it 3 times, it would be all 3 of your actions, but you can do it. You can buy 1 ether. If you buy an ether, you cannot also sell an ether on the same tile. You'd have to move first. Even if it's different from the type that you bought. You can sell 1 ether, and if you sell an ether, you can also buy on that same tile, so it's the same rule. You can buy 1 artifact if you're out here. You are only allowed 1 of each artifact, and I'm going to go a little bit more into depth of these turns, but this is kind of the basics. But you can only have 1 of each artifact. So if I have one of the keys, one of these keys, for example, I may not take a second one. There is enough for everybody to get one. We will not be blocking each other that way. You can also remove 1 hourglass token. That's what these are. You can remove 1 of those. You can request coins. You can rotate any tile and get a special action card, and that's what that little deck of cards is right there. Those are special actions. And you can exit the shadow market if you have all the required stuff. During your turn, you can also perform the following free actions. You can activate a special action card as long as you meet the criteria for that card, and I'll talk about that in a second. It's usually, you have to have a certain amount of ether, or you can pay the Shadow Master. So we're going to talk about movement first. So again, you can move horizontally or vertically. If you need to pass a barrier, you have to pay either 1 coin or 1 ether. These white things are barriers. So if Ashley is here and she wants to go here, she's fine. And if she wants to go here, she's fine. If she wants to cross this barrier to go here, she must pay 1 coin or 1 ether. Make sense?
What if she uses a turn to spin it?
You can still do that. Yeah, you can do that to get around it. And so if she were to do that, it would go clockwise. So now she can't go back up to the Esplanade, but she can go this way or this way. But yes, you can do that. So if you have no money, you just have to kind of waste a turn to move stuff around so you can move around. And, you know, you may want to use your money to do things like buy ether, which is the next action. You can buy an ether. You can work with the one that's on your edge of the board, and you spend the allotment of coins listed. So if I want to buy some titanium, I want to be on this one, not this one, because this one's cheaper. You spend the coin. You give the coins to Beth basically because she's the banker. Now, remember, if you buy an ether, you may not buy another, and you may not sell on that same tile. When you buy an ether, and this is important to know the timing of this because some cards will let you do actions multiple times. But when you buy an ether, you must immediately place a hourglass token on that symbol. So if I were to buy this one, it would go right here, and then you must rotate 90 degrees. This is not considered an action. It's the end part of the purchasing action. Make sense? when you sell an ether, it's essentially the same thing. So you're going to sell, again, if I want to sell it, I'm here. It would be this. I don't do any of these. It's this one, whatever's facing your side of the board.
Okay.
Or I could rotate twice if I want to buy one of these. It'll cost me 3. When I want to sell, I'm sorry. I'll get 3 for selling it. You know, and then I have to place the hourglass token on the piece I use. So if I had turned this twice, actually 3 times, I wouldn't be able to do anything that turn. But you know what I'm saying. Essentially, if that was the one I bought, that's where I put the hourglass, and then I turn it once.
Okay.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You can buy an artifact. If you're on one of these outer location, you spend 1 action to buy the card from the corresponding deck, and you pay the cost in coins showing. If you notice, they can be quite expensive.
Yeah.
The other thing I forgot, you cannot buy or sell an ether if when you're on the tile, there's already an hourglass token facing you. You have to move it first. You either have to remove it using an action or turn using an action. So if I didn't want if I wanted one of these, that's fine. I can just turn it and get them. But if this is the one I specifically wanted, I have to waste an action to get rid of that first. And that's the same thing with selling. If it's covered, you can't do anything. That's why the hourglasses can be a pain in the butt. So you pay the coins to the bank, of course, and you place those artifacts face up near you. I'll probably put mine up here so people can keep track of what I have. Same thing with you, Beth, if you want to. So people can keep track. I know my card is dark. It's because I'm leaning forward and the light is kind of catching. So when I lean back after I'm done talking to everybody, that'll be fixed, hopefully. And again, if you're in possession of a type of artifact, you cannot purchase the same type again. You can't block people out that way. And again, if there is an hourglass on your edge of the artifacts, if I wanted to buy an artifact here and that was there, I would not be able to buy. I'd have to rotate or remove first. Get it off my side. The other action, and when you buy an artifact card, it's the same thing. You immediately place an hourglass and you rotate 90 degrees. You can also remove an hourglass. You can remove an hourglass from your current location tile for 1 action, and it can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be on the one facing you. So if you know you might want to buy a different one, you can remove the hourglass and then rotate to buy. You can do it that way. You can do it in any order you want. But it doesn't have to be the one facing immediately. You can also do it maybe as a favor. Be like, hey, as long as you don't screw me over on the next turn with that agent that you keep moving around, I'll remove that hourglass from, you know what I mean? Like, you can do that too. You can also request coins. If you have to go to the Esplanade, so you have to go back to the middle. And if you're in the Esplanade, if you're the poorest in the game, with the least coins in your possession, so it doesn't count your ether totals, it's just your coins, you can request more coins from the Queen as 1 action. If you are the one that has lowest, you get 2 coins. If you're tied for the lowest with someone else, you get 1 coin. Coins in your Shadow Master counter, which is right here, do not count. That's
all the bribes you've paid.
That's the bribes you've paid. That's exactly what it is. You've already given them. You've committed them to him. If you can't, he will not let you take them back, even though they're still on your board. Eventually, they will leave. They will be taken away. So you can't do that.
Sure.
So if I had 2 coins off the board, and everybody else had like 4 coins, but I had 3 here, it's not that I have 5 coins. I still only have 2.
Makes sense.
You can also rotate a tile and get a special action. The cool thing is, again, you have to be in the Esplanade. You have to be in the middle. But if you're in the middle, you can, and this can only be done once during a turn. This isn't like the other actions that can be done multiple times. This can only be done once. You can rotate 1 location tile anywhere on the board, 90 degrees, so it's always only 90, and you can do it in any direction. So you can go clockwise or counterclockwise. And then when you do that, you get to draw a special action card. And we'll have a discard pile, so if the special action card deck runs out, we have to wait till you want to draw. If you try to draw and there's no more, then we'll shuffle and create a new draw pile. And you can also exit the shadow market. If you're standing on the location of your secret gate, which is what's here, if you're standing on that location, you have to flip over your cards to show that you have all 4 artifacts and the correct ether combination. And if you have done that, then you have won.
Okay.
You get to go see the queen. The other thing that you can do, the free actions, is you can activate a special action card if you have one. And you can do that at any time during your own turn.
Okay.
So if it's your turn, you can do it. If it's my turn, you can't, for example. And you can play the card in your possession and you activate the effect that's described on it. Now, you have to have the ethers that are listed on the card to be able to activate it. You do not spend them, you just have to have them. So if it says you need 3 blood to do whatever ritual, whatever, you just need to have the 3 blood. You don't lose any for activating the card. You just need to be strong enough in that type of ether to be able to use the power that you're invoking, essentially. And then then once you've played the card, it's discarded. This book describes the action cards, but I think they're pretty simple, so if you ever get confused, we can just look them up.
Okay.
And then there's you can pay the Shadow Master. At any point during your own turn, only you may pay as many coins as you wish to the Shadow Master. So if it's my turn, I could run around and do some stuff and be like, oh, I'm also going to put 2 coins in here. Just kind of brag the Shadow Master. And then they just stay there. I never get to use those coins again. They're not mine anymore. And you can only, again, do this once per turn. So if I change my mind or acquire money later, I can be like, oh, let me throw 3 more on there. No, you commit anytime during your turn. So you can wait till the end just to make sure, but only once per turn may you do that. And once it's placed on that counter, it can never be taken back ever or used in any type of transaction. At the end of each round, so at the end of my turn, I'm sorry, at the end of the round, so whoever the first player is when we get to the last player, at the end of their turn, the player with the highest score on his Shadow Master counter gains favor of the Shadow Master. You gain the first player token, which you will put here, and then the Shadow Master sits his butt right on top of it. So if no one paid any coins to him, then nothing happens. He stays where he is. The first player token stays where he is, and nobody can control the agents or anything like that. The agents, there will be some agents on the board, but they'll just sit there. So just be aware of that. So there's tiebreakers. If players have the same score, the player with the largest quantity of ether in which he has expertise wins the tiebreaker. If they're still tied, or if nobody has paid any coins, and the Shadow Master figure remains the common area, he does not. The first player stays the first player. Nothing changes. So if the Shadow Master figure is moved onto a player's dashboard, 2 things happen. All players empty their Shadow Master counters, discarding the coins. They go to the bank. So anything you've been set aside to bribe goes away. We start over. That money is gone. And the figure of the oldest agent on the board is replaced with the figure of the next available agent. That's why these are numbered. So these are going to come onto the board in order. So the first one that comes onto the board is going to be the Doctor. He's going to come onto the board. Let's say he's the only one on the board, and somebody controls the Shadow Master. He comes off the board, and the Witch will come on the board.
Okay.
If that makes sense. And essentially, she will come on to the board wherever that oldest figure is. If we have multiples on the board, just look for the oldest number, like the earliest number that's blank, and take that person off. And here's what the person who controls the shadow player gets to do. First, he becomes first player, which is nice. He gains a 4th action, so he gets to take more actions than anybody else, as long as you retain the favor of the Shadow Master. At the beginning of each round, he may move the shadow agents on the board, and I'll explain how that happens, but you can pretty much put them anywhere. And considering pretty much all of these guys have bad effects, you can have some real fun with it. Now, the player with the favor of the Shadow Master has the following obligations. You must place the coin you receive at the start of each turn in the Shadow Master counter area. You don't get those coins. You must pay him continuously.
Okay.
And that's in addition to any coins that you bribe him with. Because people will continue to bribe. They're going to try to take that favor away from you. Once the Shadow Master counter reaches 5 coins, it must immediately be emptied. They just get discarded. He takes your money, and he's still with you, but it's gone. You start over. This does not mean that you no longer have the favor. He's still with you. Unless you have a lower score at the end of the round. So you want to keep very careful. If you want to do it just so that you can keep ahead of everybody to keep him, just be aware the next round you're going to have 0 coins, and people will still have... Well, actually, no, because all their stuff will go away. You start over again, essentially. So you can bump it up, just don't do it too soon. Because if you bump it up too soon, and somebody's only got 2 coins sitting there, they'll technically beat you. And then with the Shadow Agents, the first trade in the game, so the first time Ether is bought or sold, a Shadow Agent is going to appear on that tile. It's going to show up. And it's going to start with the Doctor because he's on slot 1. When the second trade is made in the game, the figure of the agent who is on the second slot, which is the Witch, will go to that tile. And I don't think... And then afterwards, it's the Shadow Master figure. We're going to cycle them out. So we'll only ever have 2 agents on the board at a time. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Now, at the start of the round, the player with the favor of the Shadow Master may move all of the agents currently on the board. Each agent can move 1 tile in any direction, though not diagonally. So they can't move diagonally either. Mm-hmm. They can never enter the Esplanade. They have to go around it. And they're not hindered by the barriers in any way. If there's ever a conflict between an agent's effect and another agent's effect or a special action card, you always take the worst effect. So whatever's worse for you, that's what happens. And the controlling agent can increase the movement if he desires by burning hourglasses from the tile. So if this dude's here and there's 2 hourglasses, I can take them both off that tile to move him too.
Okay.
Now he has to go the full movement. I cannot backtrack either, so I can't go 1, 2... You know what I mean? I have to move the full 2. But I can go 1, 2 if I want, but I can't. You know what I mean? He has to go the full direction. I also cannot burn hourglasses as he goes. So if there's an hourglass here and I burn it, that lets him move 2.
Yeah.
But I can't go, if I didn't have an hourglass here but there was 1 here, I can't go 1, burn, and then get to go 2. You have to burn it from the starting point. Does that make sense as far as how you can move them? And you can do that, I mean, hell,
he has to drink the Red Bull before he moves.
That's exactly what it is. It gives him wings, but not Harvey's wings. So, yeah, so just be aware of that. So if there happens to be 4 hourglasses, you can burn them all and just move them all over the board. And then each agent has effects. So we're going to talk about that real quick. We'll start with the Doctor because he's the first dude. He is a member of the Order of Dragon. I'm not even going to read that, but he's basically trying to create the elixir of youth. And... the arrival of the Doctor is always preceded by the appearance of his assistants, some gibbon apes. When this happens, the merchants quickly close down their booths while the customers leave hurriedly. No one wants to become the Cold Doctor's next specimen. Yep. So yeah, because all the apes have like weird, like their heads are cut off on the top. They've got mechanical clockwork wind-up things on their brains. That's not gross. His effect is no player may buy or sell ethers or artifact cards from the location occupied him unless other actions aren't effective. But it's because the shops get closed because he's gross. The witch, hidden among the common beggars and tattered wretches in the market's alleys, is a bent and hungry 100-year-old woman lugging around her amulets and an oboe. Nobody suspects her melodies can twist steel and set glass ablaze, making everything around her a deadly trap. In ages past, improvised tribunals condemned many a wizard and sorcerer to the pyre. A few survivors fled to the kingdom of Oberon, hoping to practice their Sabbats in peace. Instead, the fairies prosecuted them in ways more twisted than simple execution. When she heard about the impending royal ceremony and the expedition, she used all her powers to reach the Shadow Market and intercept the expeditionary force responsible for recovering the artifacts. She knows they're indispensable to the alliance between Fairy and the UK. That's just so funny, that sentence. This alliance between her sworn enemies must be prevented by all means. If the witch is on the same tile as your gentleman at the beginning of your turn, you must take 1 less action this turn. That's fun. And then we've got the weirdy, like, horsehead kid. The Lost Boy. Since the moment the Shadow Master gave the official order to ignore him, the market's inhabitants have pretended not to notice the Lost Boy. Still, the macabre show of this young boy and his skull of a dead horse riding through the alleys of the Shadow Market plays out to the dumbfounded and disturbed newcomers every day. Some have claimed that he is the fruit of forbidden love between an important member of Parliament and a soothsayer of the wheel, taken at his birth by agents of the cult to blackmail his illustrious father. Others whispered how those necromancers facing the tenacity of the noblemen made the equestrian scarecrow to frighten his mother. Whatever the truth is, those spreading such rumors have disappeared. Nobody claims to know how the Black Pharaoh compelled the Shadow Master to become his guardian of this innocent victim of the power struggle among London's secret. So he's basically like the adopted son of the Shadow Master, which is why he wants people to ignore them. He's like, leave that kid alone, basically. That's fun. The whole apparatus of the Shadow Market freezes when he appears, and the gates close down when he is nearby. The Lost Boy cannot leave for any reason. The location tile he's on cannot be rotated under any circumstance and cannot be used as a secret gate.
Okay.
Yikes. I see you trying to jump up there, Toby. And he succeeded.
Let it go.
No.
Hi. Yes, you get your fame. You get your 5 minutes of fame.
There you go. You're on TV. Can you go now? He just wants loves. And he wants to knock agents out. Can you not? No. Rotating wheels. Cat on the rotating wheels.
Cat on the
There
rotating
we
wheels.
go.
There we go.
Plenty of room for you to sit. You can even eat my french fries if you want to. And then the last one is the dandy, the skeleton dude. He's a cricket champion.
No. Stay over here. Stay over here. It's okay. No, okay. No, not gonna happen. No. Oh.
Toby.
Really?
Wow, he got super comfortable.
Wow.
That went
that
full on.
That did not go well.
I don't know how I can pick him up though without hitting the
That
camera,
did not go
which he's looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get down, honey? Those ears are saying,
Boop de boo.
"Go to hell and die."
Boop de boo.
he's like, "What else can I move? Can I reach it all?" It's like Twister for cats.
How can I ruin this table that much more? He looks great on camera though.
He does. He's very orange.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, honey, can you stop interrupting the show?
He's like, you're just talking. You're not playing. Whoa.
The
Hi.
champ in chat says Toby is claiming the stream, and Andrew Moreau says Toby just owned the game. Everyone can go home now. You win.
Aww.
He is the 6th agent. The whole shadow market gets covered in fur,
There you go.
and he doesn't like him.
Hey!
Did he bite you?
No, he just scratched me.
Yes.
Toby, come here, honey. Come here. All right. He's getting ornery because we're messing with him. Go down. Go down.
It's okay.
There you go. He doesn't like his butt touched because Patty keeps shoving her paw up his ass.
Put the keys back together.
I probably just moved suddenly. And
Yeah, I think he got
startled
nervous because we were messing with him too much.
Mm.
Poor little guy. I promised Toby, you know what? Sunday night after D&D, I will set up a board game just for you to lie on and roll all over. Okay, are these arrows lined up with... There should be like little... Do you see them?
Oh, yeah. Arrow. Yeah.
Yep, that's the
Yeah,
starting.
arrow,
It
arrow.
always starts the same. Okay,
This one is it. There we go. Arrow.
so there we go. That was fun.
That one definitely needs to be moved.
One of these- and all the agents got like
all the
knocked
agents
off
back.
the shadow market. We're like, we're in the Esplanade!
Imagine how terrifying
the
that would be.
ectoplasm one right in the middle.
Cat riding! You show up and a giant cat ass just falls from the sky and knocks you off the Esplanade.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Yet another catastrophe.
Oh.
A disaster.
A disaster! Where is it? Do I have it still? Do I still have
It's
it?
not just us.
I do.
That's awesome.
Okay, so the dandy is the last one. Basically the skeletal. I say skeletal dude, but he literally is a skeleton.
Yeah,
I need to paint these so that they show up better, but a cricket champion, an object of desire for some, really, and envy for many others, the worldly dandy was one of the most popular men in London. This accomplished nobleman led a double life, however. To relieve his boredom, he bent all his resources to elegantly robbing the most important members of London society. What a jerk. The man once called the gentleman burglar by the Times brought about his downfall the night he attempted to rob the mausoleum of Imhotep II in Trinity Square. Caught by the minions of the Black Pharaoh and skinned alive, the thief was then revived by necromancers of the cult and sent to the shadow market. Deprived of his charm, his life, and even his death, the dandy carries his corpse along the market's alleys in search of other gentlemen on whom he can practice his old hobby. If the dandy is on the same tile as your gentleman at the beginning of your turn, you lose 1 coin. If you have no coins, there's no effect. And then we'll just real quick talk about the artifacts. Is there anything to really know about them?
You need them.
We need them. That is true.
One of
Oh,
each.
there, the top one, the key, up towards
key?
Beth, is the Atlantean key, symbol of the material plane. And then we've got the rings, the spectral chain used to keep the dead from returning to the material world. Probably why the dandy's stuck here. Adamantine keys, symbol of the spherical plane, and then the mithril lock, used to keep elements locked into each plane. So let's see who the first player is. Where'd that die go? Ah. What'd you get? 17? Cool. I'm gonna roll on the board because it didn't help me roll on the table last time. Well. It's on. Unless Ashley rolls a 20. Whoops, I just hit the camera.
17.
Oh!
You have to.
You must roll a 17 if you do. I'll buy a Powerball ticket with a 17 on it.
Aww.
You ruined it.
You said you have to.
Could have been rich.
You have
Oh,
to.
sorry. I ruined
The
it.
2 came before the 17, so back around.
All right, go
Roll
next. Now, wouldn't it be funny?
2 plus 15 is 17.
Now you need to roll a 13 just because.
No, 3.
Or 3. Or 12. You ruined it. You skipped a number. All right, so Ashley is player 1, and maybe I should get rid of him because he doesn't need. Whoa, he fainted.
No, you don't look at me.
So now, starting with Ashley, you will place your 2. You get to pick
Where you want to put them?
where you want to put them.
Okay.
And I just want to double check, see if we place them one at a time. Blah, blah, blah. One at a time. So you'll place yours, and then we'll go around once, and then you get to do it again. Which makes sense because
So
you
I
can
can
block off
go
stuff.
anywhere adjacent?
You can place this
Anywhere.
anywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere you want. Just remember, you're blocking off something when you do it. Because if it's facing you, you know what I mean?
Okay. So, yeah.
Sure. And I will do...
Sure, block me. Fine.
Sorry.
Well, you never know. She might not be blocking
know.
you, depending on what you need. It's hard to tell really where to put them at the beginning because you don't know what anybody needs.
Oh. Put the 4 on the artifact.
Okay. Here?
Nope.
The
Artifact.
artifact.
Oh, just kidding.
The 1.
All right. Ashley, you get to go first. What would you like to do?
Move here.
So,
Okay.
1.
How many actions do I have?
3.
Three.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, so buying
I
it.
just want to block off the thingies. So
So
if you want to
one-
buy one,
If
you
you
can...
wanted to buy, that's facing
The one right in front. Yeah.
So it's 1 brown.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that. So it's 2.
And now you move your brown up 1 to 2. Because you started out at a 1 because of your...
And the most you can hold is 3 of any one type.
Yeah.
Okay. So one more action. Can I buy another one?
Nope, not from that tile.
Oh, okay.
Can only buy or sell once from a tile.
Okay.
So right now, you have to take one of these tokens. Do that.
Because that's blocked off now. Because you just.
And do that.
Okay. And then can I move again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You technically still have 1 more action.
No, that was her 3rd action.
Oh, right.
She moved
bought,
my
she
action.
bought what she bought.
Yeah.
Moved again.
Makes sense.
Yes, she did. I'm gonna go. Wait a minute, what do I need?
I know.
Alright, I'm gonna go... One?
No.
What?
It's a boundary.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, she can. She's.
I can, I just have to spend an ether or a... But do I want to? No, I don't.
If you wanted to go there, you could manually move it.
I could. I could do that. I wonder, though, do I want to do that? Yes, so I will actually do the special action card thingy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll do this. I'll turn it this direction. So I'm going to still turn it clockwise.
Mm-hmm.
And take that. Oh, I see what that is. Okay. And then that was one action, so excuse me as I burp, sorry. 2. And I will spend the 2 to take a brown. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you know what we forgot to do? That guy
Oh.
goes here.
Oh, right, because the first thing was bought.
Which actually means you couldn't buy anything there.
Yeah.
That's true. I'll just, yeah, I have to change that then.
So it's...
Sorry.
Let's
I forgot all about the agents.
Let's back up. So
This was actually here.
that goes like that. You take the 2 away.
Yep.
Okay,
I'll
so
put the
she
brown
moves
back,
to the...
and I need my 2 money back. Because I have to buy somewhere else.
Right.
So I still probably would have rotated that, though.
All right.
But the doctor has to be here.
The doctor goes there.
She didn't buy anything over here, though.
No, she didn't.
Okay. So...
She didn't buy the ones.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay,
So are you going to rotate?
I still would have wanted the card.
Okay.
So I did that. I did rotate it because I had put it to here. So.
Okay.
Well,
Well, this... Yeah, because it was...
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I did
rotated
right.
that.
And then what I will do, so I can still do 2 actions, right?
Because that was 1.
Then I will move 2. I technically didn't have to rotate, but I think, yeah, I'll go down here actually.
Yeah, because you couldn't have gotten through there if you didn't rotate.
I'll go there. And that would be all my actions because of the 2 movement.
Yes.
You can tell I haven't played this before.
Yeah.
It's an interesting little puzzle game, though.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I am going to do the 1 twisty so I can get the free card. Because it's... Why not? I'm going to see what these are.
They are interesting.
Interesting. They are interesting at that. Alright. And then...
Technically, I could have used my card to be able to buy there if I wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm going to save it.
And that's if you start your turn where she is. Oh, yeah.
I forgot what she does, but...
You lose an action.
Oh, yeah. Lose an action, can't rotate. He takes money. Okay.
Yeah, but he takes it if you... oh, no, it is. You
No,
start.
it's always at the start of your turn.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware, all of them do that at the start of your turn.
Okay. Well, then I'm not going to do what I was going to do, and I will just go... But I guess I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to do it. All right. So I'll go there. I'll just buy at this end instead of buying someplace else.
Okay.
And now she comes out.
Yep. The hourglass goes on the 1.
Yep.
And it rotates 90 degrees clockwise.